Tell me what's on your mind.
Hi there, this is Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. And this is the show, How to Write Comics Good. Not well, because good is the opposite of bad, and well is a hole in the ground from which you draw water. So, I have tried to record this multiple times. It got too ranty several times. So let's try this again. Maybe I'll get through it this time. Last night, I listened to a replay while I was at work, earbud in. My dead-end job, my third shift dead-end job. And I got the pleasure of listening to someone pop off. Once again, this has happened multiple streams. About how Comicsgate's all about the art. We don't need writers. You know, I hate writers. Writers suck. Writers aren't needed. Anybody can write. Okay? And then I got to sit there and watch somebody who I thought knew better. They just let him go. They just let him go. Didn't say one thing to contradict him. Just let him say that. This person's notorious for popping off and just saying, dropping drama and then, you know. That's why he gets invited on streams. People like me do not. But today, I guess I am pulling a little drama up, but I don't care. Let me show you something. Let me enlighten you just a tad bit, okay? Look at these terms. Context, subtext, plot, character, interior logic, dialogue, setting, timeline, and motivation. These are things missing from mainstream comics. Why? Because the people who are writing mainstream comics didn't come up the hard way. They didn't write over the years and have their stuff rejected and thrown out the door for not being good enough. They didn't have to deal with meritocracy. They were invited straight through the door. But there's a ton of people in CG that never had a chance to get through the door at DC or Marvel who can write circles around anybody that's currently being published. I'm not saying I'm one of those people, but I know of at least 6. Okay? Hey, genius. You know any what these what these terms mean? They do. And you know what? If you don't know these terms, what you get is a property that is about as deep as a mud puddle. And people who don't talk in individual ways. So where you have to keep checking the panel to figure out who's saying what. There's a comic book I read, and I can't even tell you any of the characters. And it's by a big name in CG who is an artist who works on everybody's books. We need writing in CG. And let me show you something else, genius. Okay? This is my World Bible. Anybody who works on my project gets a copy of this, or gets to view it, okay? This is the World Bible. This tells you how my world was founded, the rules of my world, what makes my world go, what makes my story go, what the plot's going to be about, what the plot arc is going to be. Okay, these are character bios, my main characters. I have bios on every single one of them. These are the short bios, okay? So I don't overwhelm somebody, all right? Short bios. This is the art style breakdown, how I want everything to be. Covers, interiors, and oh, by the way, I have several new concepts which I hope to introduce. All right? Freedom, and here you go. Here's some teams. Here are some ancillary characters. I even plan out my ancillary characters, sir. I even have them planned. I even have bios for them. Shorter bios, but I can write a bigger one on demand. Because that's what a writer does. I can't get my comic book out as fast as these artists do because it is a visual medium. And oh yeah, they can sit there for several months and they can bang out a comic book and put it out on the market. Yeah, they can do that. And that's why that we're flooded with comic books from artists in CG. But you know what? Not every artist can write. And you want to say, okay, well, artist is meritocracy. Art is meritocracy, so it's pure meritocracy. All right, that's good. Okay. Now, and you can say not everyone can draw. I was going to try to draw my comic book. I spent a year. I have textbooks out the wazoo. I have watched hours of art videos on YouTube. Hours and hours. And I haven't been able to get to the point, so I'm going to have to hire an artist. Everything's got to be financed out of my own pocket, which I don't have. But I'm trying to get it to market, okay? But you know what? I got good enough to do that. That's a beloved friend of mine that passed away. I did it for his family. And I went from drawing simple shapes and spheres to that in less than a year with determination. And I am determined. Not good enough for a comic yet. But you know what? You can teach yourself to draw. You can. And you can teach yourself to write. But let me tell you something, sir. The moment you devalue writing in any entertainment medium, you will get what's happening in the mainstream right now. Do you want that for CG? I don't think you do. So you better hope and you better pray that all these artists who are currently devaluing writers and saying it's just strictly a visual medium get their head out of their ass and find somebody to write their properties that know what they're doing. Or otherwise, we're going to wind up like Image 2.0. And that's Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. Thank you for letting me get that off my chest. Have a nice day.
Tell me what's on your mind.